Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing wonderful. So today's video is going to be how I got rid of the dummy for my 3-year-old and my 4-month-old. Now you're probably watching this thinking, how do I get rid of a dummy, or deciding whether you should get rid of a dummy, depending on your baby's age, because obviously I'm doing the 4-month-old to the 3-year-old, so two completely different stages. Now I just want to say the dummy is only a problem if it's a problem for you and it's a problem with the sleep. If you're sitting there thinking, I need to get rid of this dummy because it's causing issues, then it's probably time. If it's not, then it's not a problem. I never got rid of, obviously, my firstborn daughter's dummy when she was at 4 months old. I do remember playing a bit of dummy pong and going through that whole sleep association issue, but I feel like I must have been over and done with quite quickly, and she must have learnt to self-settle really without it, not relying it that much for self-settling. Or I just don't remember. But I do remember there was a little bit of a stage where I just had to keep getting up in the night and putting it back. She just kept waking up. And yeah, maybe I'm just feeling it more this time, but I persevered with that and she had a dummy right up until this point basically. With Elodie though, my 4-month-old, it was becoming an increasingly big issue for me during the night, and I was just like, this has to stop. I can't be getting up every hour to put this dummy back in her mouth. So I decided that, right, this is the time to get rid of it. And I just want to say, the daughter I thought was going to be the problem put out the fight was actually the easy one, and the one that I thought was going to be easy was the hardest one. Can you let me know in the comments below which one you think is the hard one and which one you think is the easy one? So I will start with Isla, who is my 3-year-old. As I said, she's had a dummy pretty much since the day dot. There was a little bit of a ruckus with the dummy around the 4 or 5 month mark, I believe. But I just persevered with it, and to the stage where she could put it in herself, and then that was fine. And she's always been a brilliant sleeper, to be fair, probably because she learned to self-settle, but she also, you know, once they can put the dummy in, that's an easy thing to help them settle to sleep. But yeah, I tried to get rid of the dummy around, I say, the 2.5 mark. And it was not the right time. She wasn't emotionally ready for it. It didn't go well for her. And I feel like it was a bit of bad timing because she was starting to do some transitioning over to the older class at her nursery, so a whole new nursery room. But also I was pregnant and she must have sensed things were changing, so I didn't do it like just as I did at Elodie, but just before, and it just affected her behaviour quite badly. She obviously was distraught, wasn't sleeping very well, just cried about it the whole time. She went to nursery and started hitting kids, hitting like teachers and the staff, whatever they're called, which was so unlike her because Isla's a very chilled, nice girl, doesn't really hit, never really has, so it was really affecting her on some kind of level. And I just thought to myself, I sat back and was like, I'm heavily pregnant, why am I doing this to myself, and why am I doing this to Isla at this point in time? And I think it was just come off the back of the dentist telling me that I needed to get rid of the dummy. And I get the whole orthodontic side of it and wonky teeth, but her teeth are generally quite right. So yeah, I was like, why am I putting myself through this? Why am I putting her through this? So I decided, right, I'm not going to do it. I just gave the dummies back and I said, another time I am going to do it. Just had to get this one up from her nap. Right, we're gonna play with some toys here whilst Mummy does her video, yeah? So sorry if you can hear some rustling of some toys. Elodie is just down here having a little play, aren't you? Yes, you are. So my second try, Isla was 3 years and 2 months old, and we had been having dialogue on and off from, I don't know, the time I tried before about the dummy fairy and the dummy fairy coming and the dummy fairy taking away her dummies. So I continued to have that dialogue with her, telling her, you know, letting her know that eventually her dummy will be going with the dummy fairy. We talked about what present she would like. We went through, she asked for a Jellycat, another Jellycat bunny, and I thought that was quite good because she can use that as a comforter and place that kind of comfort and any settling she needed with like another cuddly animal, because she does take comfort from her Jellycat bunnies. And we went through it, I showed her, we were talking about it, we'd named this bunny already, so I kind of like kept gearing her up for it until the day I decided to bite the bullet and do it. So I woke up that morning and I said, Isla, did you know the dummy fairy's coming tonight? And before I'd said this, I tried to round up all the dummies that I could. And my God, like when I wanted a dummy, I could not find one. And when I was rounding these up, I was like, how do we have this many dummies? And we still kept finding dummies like down the line, like hidden or behind sofas or under beds and stuff like that. So basically what I had done is I had told her that the dummy fairy's coming that night, and that was it. And I had one dummy. Now she kept asking that morning, so that was the morning, she kept asking for the dummy that day, and I thought, oh, I don't know if it's a good idea that I just give her a dummy. I've told her that they're coming, why not try and like start the process now? So I got one dummy out and I cut the teat off the edge, and I went, here's your dummy, and she had it, and obviously she was like, it's broken, I don't like it. And I was like, well, that's the only one I've got. The dummy fairy's probably been going around rounding up your dummies today. So basically I then went on to say that the dummy fairy has been sneaking about taking all the dummies, and when she's collected them all, she'll leave you a present tonight. So that's kind of how it went, because that was it. I wasn't giving her any more dummies. So we did bath time, and what I did is I had a spare phone and I changed the ringtone to like some little chimes and stuff like that, and I put that in her room, and the bathroom's next to her room. And when she wasn't looking, Adam was in there, I quickly like sneaked the present on her bed, and then we went in the bathroom doing bath time, left it a few minutes, and then I rung my spare phone. So I was like, I listened to that chiming. I was like, oh my God, that must be the dummy fairy. So she could hear the chimes, and she's like, oh my God. And then she got out, and obviously got the present, was really happy about that. And then bedtime came, and yeah, she did cook off. There was resistance, there was whining, and there was tears, but it wasn't actually as horrific or hysterical as I thought it was gonna be. So I didn't actually do bedtime that night, Adam did. But yeah, she did take a while, but it wasn't like the extreme kick-off she's had before. So yeah, that was great. She finally went down that night, slept through the night, and then the next morning I thought, oh, here we go, we're gonna have like round 2 of like asking for the dummy. She never mentioned it again. That was it. Like completely off her mind. Like that was it. One day, one night, and she's never asked for the dummy again. Like, or she may have mentioned it once, and I was like, Isla, what are you talking about? And this was like weeks and weeks down the line. Even the other day, she found one under her bed. She was like, Mummy, I found a dummy. And I was like, oh, we better throw that in the bin, because otherwise the dummy fairy will come take Blossom Bunny away, because she knows you've got a dummy. So Isla threw it in the bin. It hasn't mentioned it again. So I do feel like Isla was emotionally at a better stage. So there is nothing wrong if you attempt to take away the dummy and you just feel it's not the right time, so you go back to dummy and try a bit later on. Absolutely fine, because the contrast of her behaviour and how well she took to it in the space of what, 4, 5, 6 months it was, is a stark difference. So I knew she was completely ready to have the dummy taken away. And yeah, as I said, not been an issue since. Not ever mentioned it. The first night and the second night a bit rocky, but then she was absolutely fine. And yeah, that was it for Isla. Absolutely amazing. I will insert some clips now of the day I took away the dummy. You can just see how it went. And yeah, so this is going to be like a few clips from when I took away the dummy with Isla. Who's coming to visit you today?
What?
the dummy fairy. It's time. I have decided last night that the dummies are
Mummy,
yeah.
Is the dummy fairy angry?
No, she's not angry. She just needs your dummies now. She's let you have them long enough, but that's it, mate. That's it.
Oh, I see you. Are we not going to sleep with the dummy fairy?
No, she'll come before bedtime and take your dummies away and leave you your present for bedtimes. How's that sound?
I'm in the Tatiana dress.
Oh, well, I tell you what, because I think we told the dummy fairy you only wanted Blossom Bunny. So if you're a good girl and you don't cry, Mummy will take you out and buy you a Tatiana dress as a present for being a big girl and getting rid of all your dummies. How about that? Yeah?
I won't cry.
That's good, yeah? So, yeah, the dummy fairy will bring you Blossom Bunny for all your dummies. And then Mummy will buy you a good dress if you don't cry and you're okay about it, yeah? Sounds good? So Isla's been whining for the dummy. I don't want to actually give her one, even though we're doing the whole dummy fairy tonight. So officially they're going tonight. I just said I found one and I cut the end off. And she put it in her mouth and then she took it out and looked at it and now it's kicking off.
Mummy!
What's the matter, darling?
That one's broken.
Oh, it's the only one I have, darling. I know, but I don't have any more. I don't know where they're gone. That's the only one I have, darling. It's that or nothing. Yeah, there's a dummy. That's the only one I have, darling. It's going to be a fun weekend. Lots of wine's going to be needed. We're just throwing it in the kitchen. So on to Elodie, who was a little over 4 months when I first decided. The first time I tried, there's been 2 attempts in this period. So the first time I tried with her, didn't last the night, to be quite honest. It was horrific. So basically what happened is I tried the morning nap. What I did is I kind of like took the dummy out and just before she fell asleep, and that actually went really well, and I thought I'm on to a winner here. I didn't really know what I was doing, to be fair. I just thought I'd take away the dummy, and but then every single nap and the night time was horrific. So yeah, I don't think I even lasted the night with her, because the whole reason I wanted to take away the dummy from Elodie was because I was having these continual night wakens, having to put them back in her mouth. And then that night I took away the dummy, I ended up having to get up and rock her, and I was even more awakened, and it was taking even longer because generally she'll wake me up, put the dummy in, she'll settle down in a minute or two, but I was having to rock her, and I was like, this is even worse. This is really bad. Like, this is worse than putting in the dummy. I'd rather go back to that. But I knew that I was just going to have these continuous wait periods of her waking up and like me having to put the dummy in, and that's not going to get any better. So yeah, I eventually I have help from Amy from Piece of the Moon. Now I'll put her Instagram up here. She'll be mentioned a lot in these videos, but part of my consultation and plan was to reevaluate looking at taking away the dummy again. So we kind of talked about it and we were like, well, it is the right solution, we just need to do it in a different approach. So I had to first of all just make sure, and I'm not going to go into too much detail about the whole sleep plan and what I've done, but after my consultation, I worked on making sure she was having the right awake windows, that the right amount of naps during the day. She got her sleepy cues, and everything was lined up really, really good for her to be settled in other ways, and I was layering up to settle in, so making sure I had like the white noise, the rocking, the patting, the shushing, so giving her all that layered support to take away the dummy. And I definitely, it peaked, like the hardness peaked with this, and it was mainly because I was making some mistakes as well. So we probably peaked on, the hardest day was probably day 5 of the dummy. So the first couple of days of taking it away, it was taking a while. So some settles, nap time and bedtimes, were taking probably about 15 minutes to get her down with the rocking, patting, shushing, and then some were taking like half an hour. They were really long stretches, like I had to really slog it out. But in the night, I was actually seeing like an immediate improvement of her doing like at least 2, 3, 4 hour stretches of sleep, rather than these like 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2 like stretches. So she was definitely, I saw an improvement straight away. But there was one really hard settle, and it was towards the late, well, I'd say about the 3, 4 o'clock wake. I was finding quite hard to settle her. Now I wasn't really sure if, and I'm still in this little phase at the moment, I wasn't sure whether she needed sleep, but what I was doing is she was fighting me so bad every settle. She was sucking on my arms, trying to get on my boobs, because she really was fighting me to like suck on something to go to sleep. And I was giving in about 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, and just letting her have a suck. She was having a little bit of a feed, but I don't think it was a full-on feed, especially the ones that were waking up around 2, 3 o'clock, rather than that half 4, 5 o'clock where she just can't get through till 6. So that was making it hard, because I was giving her mixed signals where, you know, I wasn't letting her have the dummy, but then she was having this like suckling settle in the middle of the night. And so I say day 3 and 4 I did that, and if I hadn't, I feel like things would have got better a lot quicker, like by day 3. But day 5 was the worst, because that night she was fighting me. We were up all night, and I was adamant I wasn't gonna like let her suckle on me to settle. And yeah, night 5 was the hardest night I had with her, and I persevered, and honestly it nearly broke me. It was so bad, but after that the settling has been so much easier. I now pick her up, and I've got to the point where I even don't have to rock her that much. I pick her up and she'll fall asleep in my arms, and then I can put her down, and we are getting a lot longer stretches at night time. So yeah, I've definitely seen so much more of an improvement. We still got to work on some few things to get like that really good sleep, but yeah, definitely 100%. I'm really glad with the dummy. Now I've taken it away, and I needed to take it away because Elodie just cannot self-settle at the moment. It's something I'm working on, and I feel like we will get there, but I've just got to teach her how to self-settle on her own. She needs the support to fall asleep, whether it was the dummy or it is rocking in my arms to sleep, or motion or stuff like that. I got to the point with Isla, I could put her down in a cot, walk off, and that's fine, but then again she did have the dummy, so like she had that to settle. But maybe, I don't know, we'll see how it goes. I'm not opposed to letting Elodie have a dummy, especially when she gets older and she can put it in herself. And you know, because it is good when you go out and about and you just need to soothe them, because they are soothers, aren't they? Yeah, I'm definitely not opposed to the dummy, but right now I just cannot have it in our lives. I do feel like I would like to get to the point where maybe I can use it to just, you know, if she gets a bit grizzly and she just needs to settle when we're out and about, that I can give it to her. But yeah, at the moment it cannot be a reliance, can it, for your sleeping, because you need to learn how to sleep. I just want to say that I feel like it has gone so much better the second attempt, because I have had support from my sleep consultant Amy, and she's been really good, and we've gone through things. I feel like I just went kind of went in blind the first time trying to do it and not really getting the right stuff in place first before I took that away from Elodie. That's why it was so hard. But yeah, it's I'm glad I've done it. It was honestly the toughest thing ever. Like, they tell you it's going to be tough, it's going to be horrendous. But you know, waking up every hour was worse than the newborn days, because it's just getting, yeah, she loves seeing herself in the mirror. But yeah, so we shall see. Yeah, Mummy, one day you're gonna learn to sleep, aren't you? You're gonna let Mummy sleep. And yeah, good thing you're so beautiful, isn't it? Yeah, so as I said, maybe later on down the line when she's older and she can put a dummy in herself, I may introduce the dummy a bit then, because it is, I do find it easy in some ways, but yeah, she's got to learn to self-settle. Yeah, I hope you found this video insightful and helpful. I'll link Amy's Instagram and website down below for you guys, so you can go check her out. She is so useful, so many tips, so supportive. She has got me through these hard months, I tell you that. And as I said, I'll explain more. Oh, it's a lovely kiss. I'll explain more in more details in other videos. This is just predominantly about the dummy. So here are some clips of me taking away the dummy from Elodie. This was the first attempt. I didn't really film the second attempt because it was horrific, wasn't it? But we got there in the end. Yeah, so here's some clips of just trying to settle Elodie and what that was like, taking away the dummy. So we're about to do nap one of no dummies. So the technique I've been reading about is kind of to, at the moment, substitute the self-settling association. So to rock her to sleep and have the dummy in for the first one. Rock her to sleep. Let's just come out here so you can see me. Rock her to sleep with the dummy in, and that just as she's falling asleep, take the dummy out and try and settle her from there. So she's almost asleep, but not quite, can get that dummy out, and then from then on, not to have the dummy. I don't know how it's going to go. Let's see. I've just managed to get away from rocking, but I don't think that was really the issue for her. So yeah, let's try this. Right. No, watch this. Oh, it's here. See? Straight away, eyes closed. This is what's the issue. So, I'm going to shut the door now. Here we go. So I'm just going to wait until she's like 90% asleep, and then I'm going to whip the dummy out and she's probably going to wake up. I think I fucked it up, guys. Because I think she already fell asleep. Like in that split second. But like, I hope this can show you, make you understand, like. Fucked it up, I think I missed the mark on that one, to be honest. She was like 90% asleep when I put her down. And I feel like she went to 90 to 100 like in 1 second. And when I pulled that dummy out, she was still, but she didn't cry, so I'm pretty sure she was asleep. So I don't know if that's actually going to help, because she would have gone to sleep with the dummy in. So I've got to try and maybe do it just a little bit earlier on her next nap. So yeah, I hope you found this video helpful and insightful. I will link Amy's Instagram and website down below. She's been so super helpful and supportive in this sleep training journey, this sleeping journey, taking away the dummy journey. Yeah, there's so much more I'm going to cover and going to come over my channel regarding baby sleep and stuff like that. This is just for the dummy. But yeah, as I said, I'm not going to be opposed to maybe giving it dummy back to her at some point, for like going out and settling and stuff like that. I just feel like for now I can't introduce it back because she'll just get confused. Yes, you tell everybody you didn't like me taking away your dummy, did you? Yeah, tell them. But you're okay now, yeah? Yeah, you're a big girl, you don't need it. So yeah, please give this video a like if you enjoyed and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in another video. Goodbye.